2.237 million viewers for a preseason game on NFL Network, and the network's biggest preseason audience since 2015, is more than a ratings quirk. It's a multi-headed signal about star power, about media narratives, about how the modern fan consumes football, and about what a single player can do to alter the economics and the optics of a low-stakes contest. Shedeur Sanders didn't just give the Browns a tidy debut on the tape. He turned a half of preseason snaps into a TV event that networks, sponsors, and front offices will notice for weeks. First, why that number matters. Preseason football is normally the product that networks schedule because the NFL asks for it. Viewership is typically small, fragmented, and heavy on regional interest. Drawing multiple millions on a nationally available channel for a non-regular season contest is a red flag in the good sense. It proves there's an audience willing to tune in when there's a clear, compelling storyline. Sanders checks all the modern boxes: elite college resume, famous last name, dramatic draft slide, a viral first game, celebrity endorsements, and a major brand, Nike, already leaning into the moment. Combine that with the Browns' vanity market and you get a rating spike that isn't just people checking a box, it's appointment viewing. Second, the supply-side mechanics. Networks and advertisers pay attention to eyeballs. For NFL Network and partners, this performance is an opportunity to reevaluate the preseason inventory. If one rookie can move the needle like this, networks will start evaluating how to package, promote, and monetize these kinds of narrative-driven preseason matchups more aggressively. Expect more editorial buildup, more social media-first promos, and perhaps selective national windows for games featuring high-profile rookies or controversial veterans. Advertisers might be more willing to spend on targeted inventory around these games if the audience proves engaged and social buzz amplifies the reach. Third, the player-level consequences are both opportunity and risk. For Sanders personally, the visibility is pure upside: brand, deals, NEL-era leverage, and a faster path from intriguing prospect to must-watch young player. Nike's ad run is emblematic. Companies will chase the next moment they can amplify with a clean visual: a rookie touchdown celebration, a father on TV storyline, viral celebrity posts. That merchandising and endorsement value can sometimes outweigh a few roster spots in early career earnings if the player remains healthy and behaves consistently. But visibility also compounds risk. Injuries that keep him out of subsequent preseason action don't just hamper his roster case, they dampen the immediate commercial momentum. The oblique strain reported after the joint practice becomes a more complex problem when you consider that every missed snap is now both an on-field evaluation and a media opportunity lost. Fourth, roster and front office calculus changes subtly when a prospect becomes a ratings draw. Teams sometimes tilt roster decisions toward development pathways they can monetize: practice squad protections, active roster slots that maintain visibility, or even strategic elevation for televised games. The Browns now face a dual balancing act: protect a developing asset medically and maximize their on-field depth plans. Carrying 4 quarterbacks is expensive in terms of roster flexibility, but the public relations and market value of keeping Sanders active, even as a developmental third option, has shifted in ways that could factor into final decisions. That doesn't guarantee a roster spot, but it nudges front offices to consider non-football contingencies in roster architecture: media exposure, brand partnerships, local market ticket interest, and broadcast draws. Fifth, broader league implications. The NFL wants eyeballs, and it wants to keep the pipeline of star narratives healthy. Shedeur's debut is a case study in how the league's investment in player storytelling, NIL-era college heroes, social media virality, family brands like Coach Prime translates to TV ratings. The league office, teams, and networks will be watching how this narrative develops. If the NFL can reliably create or identify such moments, it can amplify preseason importance selectively, not by changing the sport, but by curating which games receive national promotion and which rookies are spotlighted. Finally, the fan and media reaction loop is worth watching. Social media accelerates attention and also accelerates disappointment and expectation inflation. 2 million viewers means 2 million first impressions. The danger is that short-term hype becomes a demand for instant answers: start him, bench the veteran, fire the coach. That pressure can create counterproductive noise inside a team's evaluation room. The Browns coaching staff and front office will need to manage both the medical rehab timeline and the external narrative. Controlled updates, visible investment in the recovery plan, and a reminder to the public that preseason tape is a piece of evaluation, not a season verdict. What should happen next, practically? For Sanders, full medical prudence, focused rehab, and clear messaging. For the Browns, protect the player, leverage the moment for measured marketing, fan events, controlled media appearances when healthy, and use the Nielsen proof point to increase local engagement without letting it warp personnel decisions. For NFL Network and advertisers, analyze minute-by-minute retention and social lift. If a game like this keeps viewers through the second half and spikes social engagement, it's a repeatable playbook. For fans and media, enjoy the moment, but temper immediate roster conclusions with the reality that preseason is a narrow sample and availability is everything. In short, those 2.237 million viewers changed the context around a rookie's preseason debut. They made it a national moment, converted idle curiosity into measurable attention, and created a multi-dimensional value spike that reaches beyond yards and touchdowns. How much of that value converts into long-term on-field opportunity will depend on health, steady performance, and how well the Browns and Sanders themselves navigate the next few weeks. Shedeur Sanders' NFL debut turned into more than a promising on-field performance. It was a ratings bonanza. Friday's Browns-Panthers preseason opener averaged 2.237 million viewers on NFL Network, the league confirmed, making it the network's most-watched preseason game since 2015 and its strongest opening week of the preseason ever. For a fifth-round rookie making his first pro appearance, those numbers are rare and loud. Sanders didn't just spark conversation in the locker room, he pulled an audience that normally tunes out exhibition football. On the field, Sanders gave fans a reason to watch. Thrust into the start after injuries sidelined other quarterbacks, the Colorado product completed 14 of 23 passes for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns, and added 4 carries for 19 yards. The stat line was solid. More important was the context. A rookie with limited first-team reps handling a full slate of situational snaps and doing it without turnovers. Social media quickly followed. Highlights and praise from high-profile figures amplified the moment and helped convert curiosity into viewership. The timing could not have been better for NFL Network and the Browns. Sanders' pre-draft slide into the 5th round made him one of the most talked-about rookies of the class. His debut translated that chatter into must-see television. The broadcast drew casual viewers and diehards alike, and the glow extended beyond the broadcast. Analytics, NIL-era endorsements, and a new Nike ad featuring Sanders all helped stoke interest heading into the weekend. But the story has a wrinkle. An oblique strain suffered during a joint practice with the Eagles has Sanders listed day-to-day and makes him unlikely to play in the team's next preseason game. For a player who badly needed more game reps to solidify his place on a crowded Browns depth chart, that's a real setback. Cleveland still carries Joe Flacco as the veteran leader, with Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett in the mix. So Sanders' window to parlay Friday night into sustained momentum is narrower than it looks on paper. From a bigger picture perspective, Friday's ratings are a reminder that the NFL's appetite for compelling storylines is voracious. Networks will chase narratives that draw viewers, and young players who bring built-in followings are television gold. For the Browns, Sanders' debut created an unexpected spotlight that will complicate roster conversations if he returns healthy and plays well. For now, the takeaway is simple. When opportunity